My name is Mason Sosi. I used to save people for a living. 15 years as a wilderness EMT and volunteer search and rescue coordinator for San Juan County, Colorado. I have carried teenagers with shattered femurs down ski slopes. I have held a ranger's guts inside his belly with my bare hands while the chopper circled. I have zipped more body bags than I can count. I thought I knew every way a human being could die in the backcountry. I was wrong. There is only one rescue I never put in the official report. Not in the debrief. Not in the bar after shift. Not even to my grandfather. And he is the one who taught me which words to burn so they never come true. October 2006. Sleeping Ute Mountain Trail System, Cortez, Colorado. A Navajo hiker named Joseph Benali went missing on a routine day loop. 32 years old. Experienced. Supposed to be home by dark on Thursday. Never checked in. We found him alive 2 days later. That was the mistake that killed his wife and both his children. But I have to start earlier. Because the mountain didn't pick Joseph by accident. It was waiting for someone who still remembered the old rules. And forgot them anyway. I was 10 years old the first time I met a skinwalker. Summer of 1991. Window Rock, Arizona. My little brother Kent and I were staying with our grandparents while Mom and Dad took their much-needed vacation. Kent was 8. All elbows and questions. He followed me everywhere like a lost pup. At home, that annoyed me. At Grandpa's house, it felt like armor. Grandfather never told stories the way white people do. He dropped them like stones into still water and let the ripples do the work. That afternoon he was skinning a rabbit he'd shot at dawn. The knife moved so smooth it looked lazy. His hands never shook, even though he was pushing 80. You know why we don't whistle after dark, Mason? I shook my head. Calls things. Most nights nothing answers. Some nights something does. He peeled the hide back in one clean sheet. Long time ago, before the long walk, there was a man from Chinle. Wanted power. Wanted to live forever. Killed his own brother. Wore the skin until it fit better than his own. After that he could wear anything. Coyote. Little boy. Anything with a pulse. My mouth went dry. Did they catch him? Grandfather finally looked at me. You don't catch them. You avoid them. You don't say their name. You don't invite them in. And if you see something that don't move right, if it looks like your mother, your father, your little brother, and something feels wrong, you run. You hear me, Mason? You run. That night I lay awake in the room I shared with Kent. Window cracked because the heat was brutal. Curtains open just enough to see the moon. Kent snored soft and steady. I envied him. 2:47 a.m. Scratch. Long nails dragging across the screen. Testing. Scratch. Then breathing. Wet. Heavy. Like a dog that ran 10 miles. But lower. Deeper in the chest. A voice came through the mesh. Soft. Familiar. Let me in, Mason. It sounded like grandmother. Almost. I flew out of bed. Slammed the window shut. Locked it. Whatever was outside made a sound that was not quite a laugh and not quite a growl. Footsteps padded away through the caliche. Morning showed 4 deep claw marks bent into the aluminum frame. Grandfather replaced the screen without a word. Burned sage so thick we coughed for an hour. Drew a line of ash on every sill. Came back every night for 7 nights. Walked on the roof. Heavy. Deliberate. Stopped right above our beds and waited. Kent cried into his pillow so quiet I pretended not to hear. Then our dog Checkers disappeared. Black and white mutt with floppy ears and a thief's heart. Kent picked him from the litter when he was 5. Checkers slept on my feet. Stole bologna off your plate if you blinked. Tuesday night. Dad let him out to pee at 9 o'clock. 10 minutes. 15. Dad grabbed the flashlight. Checkers. Come on, boy. Nothing. We searched until 2 a.m. Mom drove slow, high beams sweeping alleys. Kent and I hung out windows calling until our throats bled. Neighbors came out in robes. Someone 2 houses down said he saw Checkers sniffing garbage cans at 9:15. That was the last. We printed 50 flyers. Kent knocked on every door, voice cracking. He's really friendly. He won't bite. Please call if you see him. Days crawled. Every phone ring was hope, then a knife. Kent left peanut butter sandwiches on the porch. He'll smell it. He'll know we're waiting. Day 10. False sighting in the park. We ran in pajamas. Wrong dog. Kent's face folded in on itself like wet paper. Day 12. I woke at dawn to use the bathroom. Glanced out the living room window. Checkers sat on the porch. Statue still. Staring at the door. I should have screamed joy. I didn't. He was too clean. Missing 12 days and his coat looked groomed. No burrs. No dirt. No panting. Mouth closed. Eyes flat black. Mom came down the stairs. Checkers. She reached. He snapped an inch from her fingers. Teeth clicked like a stapler. Dad appeared in boxers, bat from behind the door. Back up slow. The thing crossed the threshold. Opened its mouth. Mason. My name came out wet. Backwards. Dad swung. It turned, walked off the porch. Stopped at the yard's edge. Tried to stand on hind legs. Wobbled. Front paws dangling. Remembering how shoulders work. Held the pose 3 seconds. Dropped. Cleared the fence in one bound. Grandfather drove in from the residential before lunch. Burned the house top to bottom with cedar, sage, and something that smelled like lightning. Made us watch Checkers' collar curl black in the fire. That wasn't your dog anymore. Something's wearing him. Learning you. If you'd let it in, it would have come back every night until one of you opened the door. Kent slept with the light on until he was 16. I never owned another dog. I became an EMT because I thought if I understood how bodies worked, I would never be fooled again. I was wrong twice. October 14, 2006. 4:47 a.m. Tom called. Missing hiker. Joseph Benali. Sleeping Ute. 48 hours. Cold front last night. Low 30s. Move. Staging area by 5:12. Frost thick on sage. 5 trucks. Mark Webb and Bear. Sarah from Sheriff's SAR. Tom spreading the topo like a death shroud. 2 ranchers reported livestock killings that week. 3 calves opened like mail. Organs gone. Human barefoot tracks to the fence. Coyote prints on the other side. Nothing in between. We split grids. I took Sarah and Mark. 1 mile. Dead raven center of trail. Perfect. No wounds. Bear whined, backed up. Half mile, 3 more ravens in a line. Like arrows. 2 miles, bear froze. Ears flat. Refused the trail. I rounded the boulder alone. Temperature dropped 10 degrees. Smell punched me. Copper. Herbs. Old wet dog. Drag marks in the dirt. Then gone. Like the ground swallowed them. 3 miles, Joseph's water bottle. Upright. Cap on. Placed under leaves like a gift. Forest went silent. No birds. No insects. Just our boots too loud. Bushes cut Sarah's palm though they looked soft. Mark's jacket tore on air. 10:23 a.m. Team 2. Contact. North Ridge. He's walking. We converged. Joseph sat on a rock. Emergency blanket. Clean jeans. No dirt. No fear. No relief. I checked pupils. No blink for 68 seconds. Pulse exactly 60. Temp exactly 98.6. 3 thermometers. How long without water? Don't know. I'm fine. Eyes flat black. No light catch. No watering. He stood. No sway. No stiffness. Jessica offered protein bar. No thank you. We hiked down. Joseph never stumbled. Never looked at his feet. Shadow lagged half a second. Bear pressed against Mark's leg. Whining silent when Joseph looked. Joseph smiled. Dogs don't like me. They can tell I'm not right. Perfect laugh. Too perfect. Last mile Joseph walked ahead. His shadow flowed over logs instead of stepping. Trailhead 12:15. He climbed into Sarah's cruiser. Sat statue still. Hands folded. Staring straight. Medical center. Carla whispered. Vitals textbook. 2 textbook. 98.6 exactly. 120/80 exactly. Heart 60 exactly. Like a damn crash test dummy. Wife Emily arrived. Crying. Hugged him. Flinched. You feel cold. Kids hung back. Sophie whispered. Daddy smells wrong. They took him home. I should have stopped it. I didn't. 3 weeks later, Tom at the hardware store. Emily says he stands in the kids' rooms at night. Doesn't blink. Doesn't sleep. Won't eat. Sits facing the wall. 6 months. Emily moved kids to sisters. Sophie woke to Joseph smiling in her doorway. Eyes reflecting yellow. Joseph fired from tribal office. Caught at Janet's desk practicing being normal. Scrolling family photos. Seen walking highway 3 a.m. Barefoot. Wrong direction. November 2008. House fire. Emily and both kids shot in bed. House torched. Joseph's truck in driveway. Joseph gone. Search teams found barefoot tracks. Vanished into solid rock. Strips of skin in cedar branches. Like someone peeled off a suit. Case closed. Psychotic break. Joseph presumed dead in wilderness. 2 years later. Training exercise. Same ridge. They found bones. Joseph's license. Wedding ring. DNA match. Time of death. October 2006. 2 weeks before we rescued him. The thing we carried down the mountain lived in that house for 2 years. Wore Joseph's skin. Learned his kids' names. Watched them sleep. Killed them when it got bored. Burned the evidence. Walked back naked. I moved to Albuquerque. Changed my number. Still burn sage on every sill. Still check locks 7 times. Last month Kent called. He's 40 now. Hasn't left his house in 3 years. Mason. Checkers came back again. Sitting on my porch. Cleaner than ever. He said your name. I hung up. Burned my phone. Drove west until the desert ran out. If you're ever on Sleeping Ute and find a water bottle placed too perfect, if the ravens stop singing, if the temperature drops and the smell of old dog finds you, run. Don't look for the lost hiker. Don't bring him down, because some things aren't meant to be saved. They're meant to be left where the mountain keeps them. And if you ignore that, it'll wear your face next.